He's talking about in the synagogue, and then, bam, dark, unclean. There's an unclean spirit, and he cried out. So it's emotive, very quick, no superfluous writing.
Think about it. We're not told what scriptures Jesus has been going through. We're not told what he has taught. But whatever he has taught has stirred up the spirit world. And it's that man with the unclean spirit that cries out in verse 23.
Guide me through this. You can be unclean very easily in Mosaic law. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an unclean spirit. That's different, isn't it?
This is where the context will have to determine the translation.
How is it possible that an unclean spirit suddenly presents itself, and the language as well? Because it's talking about let us alone, which is at a deliberate use of the plural, saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. This person seems to recognize who Yeshua is. Spiritus immundus is the Latin, means evil spirit. Pneuma is soul. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Ruach tuma is Hebrew for evil spirit. Are we talking that? Are we at that point yet? Or are we doing something different? Is this something not quite that bad? Unclean normally would refer to something like someone who slanders, perhaps. Could it be evil thoughts or acts? But then why would they be in the synagogue? Are we talking a person or we're talking spirit? And I'm interested you mentioned stirred something up in the spiritual world. But then all humans have the spirit within them, the divine spark. Are we talking about the way in which Torah was being taught has now been challenged by someone with authority, and someone doesn't like it, and they say, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. But then why do they recognize it's Jesus, or is that John Mark's interpretation? Which one is it?
Gosh, it's like listening to Russell Brand. So many questions.
Was it?
There's a number of things going on here, right? Very interesting pointers that are being flagged up for us. We have got at least two distinct groups of people. We have got the Jewish people that sat in the synagogue, and we've got the unclean man who sat in the synagogue at the same time, right? We've got the Jewish people who question who this man is. We've got the unclean man, the evil spirit, who recognizes who Jesus is and knows exactly who he is, where he's come from, and who he is. And so we've got the people that should know who don't know, the people that we would not expect to know that do know, and straight away you've got this tension building, whereas the Messiah is coming to the children of Israel and the children of Israel are too blind to see it, but the blooming demonic world, the spirit world, know only too well what's lined up.